Hi guys, Micah Fights with Friends here. Just wanted to go over the salaries from Friday's Bellator 206. Some of these are pretty interesting. Main event, Gegard Mousasi, Roy McDonald, champions. They each make $150,000 apiece. Quentin Jackson and Wanderlei Silva made more. I'm not surprised. They've been around for quite a while. Jackson, $300,000, twice as much as the two champions. 200 G's for Wanderlei. So they're not hurting. No win bonuses, you notice here, though, for Quentin or Gegard. Same thing with Douglas Lima, $130,000. And then Korshkov, for whatever reason, fights for $55,000. So, I mean, he had a win over Douglas Lima. They were 1-1. He'd only had 2 losses in his career. I was a little surprised that he only had $55,000. I'm assuming he had a $55,000 win bonus since that was so low, so he probably would have taken home $110,000. I'm definitely assuming that because a Pico here got $80,000, but that included a $40,000 win bonus. And then Leandro Higo, a guy who's been in some big fights and is a pretty high-level caliber fighter, at least in the Bellator world, former world championship contender, makes $14,000. That seems like a really low-ball number to me. Kerry Melendez was on the main event, $25,000 with no win bonus. And then the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, Dakota Zimmerman, and her professional debut just made $4,000. Gaston Bolanos took home $24,000 for his effort. That included a $12,000 win bonus. And then you have Isidro Gutierrez at the bottom, and I only seen posted the salaries for the main event fighters. But you're looking at Isidro Gutierrez, $2,000 is what she ended up taking home. That is sad. If you look at BleacherReport.com, and I'm going to put link to an article down in the end of the description. It talks about the cost for your average fight camp. 6 to 8 weeks is the average cost of a fight camp, and average estimated costs for a top level fighter are between $8,000 and $14,000. So even if she was able to have a lot smaller fight camp, this $2,000, I mean, that doesn't even cover expenses. So even if she wins that fight, she's lucky to break even for 6 to 8 weeks of work. You're talking about, the top coaches, your cornermen, generally, and the UFC is what the report is on. I don't know what Bellator pays. I would be surprised if they pay more. They generally they'll pay a plane ticket for the fighter and one head coach. Nobody at the top has only one head coach. So your cut man, anybody like that, they're screwed. One hotel room. So however many people are coming with you, you're going to have to pay for an extra hotel room. One of the fighters was talking about usually it's 2 full-size beds. So if you're a heavyweight, you're going to have to pay to upgrade your bed, most likely. And this is it really worth it? I mean, Isidro Gutierrez is out there risking her life, and she probably just paid for the right to be on a Bellator main card. They're making money. They're putting the risk out there. UFC's obviously making money. These guys are making money, and the fighters, you see the top heavy. You see Quentin and Wanderlei and Gegard and Rory, and I'm glad they're all doing okay, but I'm worried about poor Isidro Gutierrez over here, Dakota Zimmerman, even Leandro Higo, maybe just broke even. I mean, he's a top-level fighter. You're training for Aaron Pico. You're bringing in some studs. And now, you want to talk about the training expenses of some top-level fighters. Aaron Pico brings in Freddie Roach. I guarantee you he's not cheap. Just the membership at Wildcard Boxing Gym, I believe, is a little over $200 a month. So it's a lot of expenses included, with different coaches, the plyometrics, the travel. A lot of these guys, most of these guys you see on here, outside of maybe these top six, at least the top four, maybe the top six, have to work another job on the side, and they can barely afford to go to the gym. I don't know how Isidro Gutierrez, I don't know, with paychecks like that, I don't even know how Isidro continues to be able to afford to do this sport. You should not be paying out of your own pocket to compete for a huge promotion. Owned at the end of the day by Viacom, one of the biggest media conglomerates in the world. So, like I said, props for paying the top fighters. Please bring the fight purses up for these smaller fighters. Isidro Gutierrez, I can't imagine that he has a lot of promotional money. Can't imagine he has a lot of sponsors. Dakota Zimmerman, it was her pro debut. Can't imagine she has a lot of sponsors. She probably got a lot of her workouts, saved some money, because she's constantly working out with Brazilian world champions, and I'm sure she can make some money teaching jiu-jitsu on the side too. But that's not the point. She's even lucky just to break even at this point. And you're talking about the main event on DAZN, which could have been Paramount. The next one will be Paramount, most of them. So I want to know what you guys think about fighter salaries. Is it time for fighters' unions? Is it time for some kind of minimum pay? The UFC doesn't pay anybody under $10,000. Thank God that they raised it up to that, because as early as I think about 5-6 years ago, they were still paying some of their fighters about $6,000, which barely covers the cost for training, as I said. But I just thought you guys might be interested in what those salaries are. Let me know, what do you guys think? Are they fair? At least for the top guys. I don't think too many people argue about these bottom guys. What do we need to do? Do you need to share the wealth a little bit? Maybe move around a few of these salaries. The only people I can see you'd really take much money from, is maybe Quentin and Wanderlei, and move that around a little bit. In full disclosure, this does not include any backdoor bonuses. These are only the salary figures that are reported to the California State Athletic Commission. So if they were scheduled to get a win bonus, and they did, here it is. You only have one win bonus on here because Douglas Lima, the top three guys weren't eligible for one. For whatever reason, Kerry Melendez wasn't either. Two, excuse me. Gaston Bolanos and Aaron Pico. They each get a win bonus. Nobody else gets anything. So let me know what you think down there in the comments. Please give me a like and subscribe. It is fight week for UFC 229, Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's finally here, it seems like, after all this wait. I'll be doing some more videos on that quickly, but I just wanted to know what you guys thought of that, since we just got done with the Bellator 206 companion on Friday. Let me know down below. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.